Drake. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. I really appreciate you taking your time out of the day. I know you're so busy.
Oh, of course, I love making time for you. Your feedback is always just so amazing. So thank you for having time for me today.
Thanks. So when we met last time, you wanted me to come in and observe the strategy of when your students are taking annotations in the text, is it impacting their success in taking the module tests? Right?
Gotcha. Yes, yes,
I remember
definitely.
you had your module menu and you're trying to really build that accountability piece and having them really work within the text. So that's great.
Right.
Um, I was able to come in and observe your class when they annotated the Sally Ride lesson that you're doing. I loved watching that. It was
Yes.
awesome.
That
And
was so cool you were able to come in and see that because
yeah,
I felt that went so well and having you in there, oh,
they were
it
really
was
engaged.
perfect.
So I collected some data and I
Mhm.
wanted to share it with you today. And I wanted to see if what you thought about it
Okay.
and see if maybe there were some next steps of what you wanted to do after this, maybe to push them further or try something different or something like that. So we'll talk about that.
That would be great. Thank you.
Awesome. So we talked about maybe a question to focus on, and the question we agreed upon was how does annotating the text within the text test, impact the student's ability to be successful at the modules?
Right.
That was what you wanted me to look at.
Yes.
So I want to look at how annotating the text connects to the increase of the student accountability piece
Okay.
or their success with the module. And so I'm going to show you the data I collected, and I
Okay.
want you to tell me your thoughts. I know you've looked at their overall achievement, but I want to show you what I came up with.
Oh,
So
perfect.
let's look first at your morning group,
Okay.
and I just want you to tell me what you notice about the data display.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Like these are their improvement, right?
Yeah, so when you
So
see,
these are my lowest students. Like I said, like my highest students are not really making a change, but like Branith, Noemi, Sophia, Eric is retaining. These are my lowest students.
so what do you notice about their achievement or their success?
So they are definitely making, wow, they're making gains. Oh, I did not see that because I was just looking at just the overall. I didn't notice any increase. So seeing this, maybe it's more effective than I thought when I was asking you for your feedback.
So let's look at the afternoon data.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
the afternoon class data.
Yes.
So that was the morning. This is the afternoon.
Okay. Okay. So this one, some of my learners did not really make much gain, and that could be they're starting from a much lower place. Maybe the strategy is harder for them.
Maybe.
Um, okay, so we're seeing some notice from some increases here. I
And-
love seeing an increase with her.
And the whole class went up 5% versus the 11 over here.
Nice.
So what does this make you think when you're looking at this data?
So looking at this data, I think this class, my morning class, is probably ready to keep the strategy. Maybe this one needs to be retaught it and retaught why. So maybe more practice with them. Which matches when I was observing the test when we took about the pilot. It was Ronald Nair.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them would circle the answer and then just do their X's and the question marks after making their choice. So they didn't really be using their strategy appropriately. So that kind of actually fits well with what I'm seeing here with the lack of improvement in this data.
So it might be more of a also motivational, or there maybe needs that motivation to use it. So the why might be important. Maybe if they learn that why.
Right. Why?
Sure.
Why do I want them to do this? Definitely, that could definitely help.
So how do you think this is going to impact your classes moving forward?
I want to keep the strategy or use some that are similar. I definitely want to make the strategy work for my kids because if it's not working for them, then it's just going to waste of time. Whereas with them, I can definitely see just individual students who might need to be retaught, but over here, it really seems to be most of the class.
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is that you see a really higher need for maybe going back and remediating this strategy with them.
Definitely, and that makes sense because I know this class, and I know they have a higher need.
Yes, definitely.
So this just confirms what we both have talked about in the
Mhm.
past with
all the
they're
other
starting
data
off.
we've looked at before, right?
Right.
For sure.
Okay.
So moving forward, let's come up with an action plan. What are some things that you would like to do? I know earlier we talked about maybe with the morning class, the next steps that we talked earlier about incorporating the strategy to how can we do that with the online testing,
Yes.
or that might be with the morning class, the ones that are showing that they're using the strategy appropriately, they might be able to move in that direction. But you also wanted to say, like, how can I shift from scaffolding to having them working independently? But they're showing us here that maybe they need more scaffolding. So let's come up with an action plan
Okay.
moving forward, and it might not even look the same for your morning class as it does for your
Right.
afternoon class, like we've talked about. So
Right.
what do you think we should? What is your goal?
Well, it's now the end of March. We're taking the FAST test in about a month and a half at the very beginning of May. I need my kids to be able to sit down and take this FAST test and take it seriously, to look at what they're reading, what the question is asking them, and understanding what they're being asked to do. I need them to take the success I have with paper and have it be online at a time when I can't say, hey, remember your strategy. I've got to be hands off. They've got to do it independently. That's a big step for them, and we've got to start working now to get them ready for that.
So what I'm hearing you saying is that this strategy is effective, and you want them to really have a hold of it by the time they get to the FAST testing. So one thing I'm thinking of is I'm working with fourth grade right now with taking like a boot camp center rotation thing that we're trying to figure out. So I'm wondering if we couldn't maybe do a test taking boot camp in third grade as well, where we can maybe incorporate some of these strategies, doing maybe small group rotations where.
That would be cool.
So that's something we can look at. So if you want, we can look more at the data and see maybe what standards they still need help with, and we can pull text using that, so we can do both, and then we can also use the annotating the text and seeing how that impacts their success as well.
I like your idea of using the standards they need help with and the test taking strategies. I think that would actually, like you said, do both things all together. I love that. Let's please do that.
Okay, great. So let's meet again. How about we meet? It's Thursday now. Let's meet on Monday.
Okay.
What time would work well for you on Monday?
Planning's probably the best.
Okay.
Morning is also okay, but we can also come back at the same time.
Let's do Monday in the afternoon.
Okay.
After they go to specials. That way you don't feel rushed in the morning. And then we can maybe look at I'll pull some data.
Okay.
With the last module too, and see some of the standards that they need.
Yes.
And then we'll look at some text that we can start doing that with, and thinking of some strategies.
And we're also going to be taking our next module test towards the middle of April too, so we can also look at that as well to pull some data from there.
Absolutely.
Like test questions.
Or even starting this even earlier, so that maybe we can have it done before that module test, so that they can use that as well and be successful.
Yeah, because I would love to see this over here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how cool would it be to even have a data chat with them about that? That's great. So I really appreciate you meeting with me today, and I think that we have a really good plan, and I'm really excited about moving forward with this.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'd love to see them continue to grow. I really do.
I think that they're going in the right direction, and I'd be curious to see, even before this, if this wasn't an increase from before. If they, even though if this is in the negative, maybe it's not as bad as it was.
That's actually a good point.
So
it's maybe he's still improving from where he is.
And then we get from Module A. So it might be cool to look at Module A versus Module G.
Let's do that.
Okay. So maybe when I come on Monday, I'll pull up that data.
Oh, perfect.
And I'll just we can make it in the same thing, and I'll bring it too. All right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on Monday.
See you. Look forward to it. Thank you.